BXB. It's in the game!
Hey guys, it's me Ben, back with another one of my quick reviews. I'm going to be doing it one take, I'm going live, I've got some notes, and I'm here to talk to you about a game I've been anticipating for quite some time, which is Call of Cthulhu, brought to us by Cyanide Studios and Focus Home Interactive. And let me just say, recently, what with Halloween, this is a great time to be playing a game like this. In addition, I've actually been reading the Necronomicon, the famous H.P. Lovecraft tome, for the very first time. And other than some troubling aspects to do with, let's say, his dated worldview on certain things, it's an incredible piece, so well written. It captures a great sense of dread and fear and horror, and it paints an amazing picture of these other worlds and other beings and creatures. So I came to this game, Call of Cthulhu, excited to see what could be done with a modern, really high production take on the Lovecraft mythos. And first of all, I love the setting of this game. It is a beautifully constructed world. The visuals are evocative and compelling. The art design is great. It's actually a little bit reminiscent of, say, Dishonored or Bioshock, with slightly over-the-top looking characters. You play as Edward Pierce, the, as always, private investigator sent to uncover the truth behind a mysterious death of a family. I'm not going to go into details with spoilers of the story, because that's really the main drive behind this game. You want to play to find out what has happened to this horribly unfortunate family, tied up with darkness and despair and twisted goings on. Therefore, all my footage here is cut from early parts of the game and trying to avoid spoilers as much as possible. Trust me, you don't know where this game is going. It deals with insanity, it deals with otherness and creepiness and horrors in ways that only a Lovecraft-inspired property could do. And that's really the strength of this experience. Like I was saying, the world that it constructs is amazing. It is beautiful and creepy. I really love the voice acting, especially of Edward Pierce, but throughout, the writing and the performances are strong, if not excellent. And it really elevates the experience to a place of a very enjoyable game that is predominantly an adventure game experience. It might be done in first person. You might have some light RPG mechanics with leveling up Edward as you go through the game in sort of different facets of occultism or strength. And they've all got different sort of gameplay mechanics. For example, intelligence will mean you can do lockpicking better, and you can get into those higher skilled lock requirements. Obviously, the skills checks are going to be highly influenced by putting points into that area. And strength will mean you can physically move heavier objects or obstacles out of the way that you wouldn't be able to if you hadn't put points into them. Both the occultism and the medicine points, you can't put points in yourself from leveling up. You can only find things in the environment which will improve those skills, which, trust me, you're going to find plenty of things to do with both of those aspects. Another cool gameplay mechanic is this investigation thing, where you can sort of, in certain scenes, when you're poking around, you pull the two triggers, or the L2 and R2 button, and you go into sort of investigation mode where you can dig into more finite details about the scene that you're in to really piece together what's happening. And all of this lends itself to this really fantastic narrative that brought me great joy and excitement and interest and dread, and really drove me through the experience and made me persevere through some of the more difficult to enjoy gameplay mechanics. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about the story. Let's talk a little bit about the gameplay. Now, most of it, like I said, is kind of reminiscent of a classical adventure game. There's no combat. Edward Pierce isn't a gunslinger, even though the game is set in first person. It's mostly going to be about dialogue trees and interacting with the environment and finding puzzles inside the environments. Now, the puzzles are hard. This is a game that's very much a classical point-and-click adventure inspired experience. Therefore, there's not a lot of clues maybe to help you when you get stuck, and that can be a real roadblock to the enjoyment of the game, especially like me. If you're playing it in isolation without the help of the internet, there are puzzles that will stump you. I won't go into details as to which, because there would be spoilers, but you could get stuck for some time in this game. In addition to this sort of going around the environment and talking to people and investigating things and picking up lore items, in which everything is very well written with the descriptions at all points, feels very Lovecraftian. There's also stealth elements. Now, the stealth is a little bit ham-fisted. It's not the strongest element of the game, that's for sure. However, it's not a terrible element either. You can usually run away from enemies and hide and get there sort of out of their field of vision quite easily. But it's difficult to talk about the specifics of the stealth experiences without going into spoilers. So I'll just say it's not the strongest suit of the game, nor are the puzzles. However, the game makes up for it with the evocative atmosphere, with the fantastic writing, with the great and really compelling voice acting, with the brilliant sound design, with the really compelling visuals. All of these elements I love. It's just a shame that the puzzles, which I think are just a bit too difficult and obscure, and the stealth elements bring down what could be a really stellar Lovecraft-inspired Call of Cthulhu experience. But because of those negatives, I have to say that even with the creepiness, even with the brilliant style, even with those nice little RPG elements, this game is pulled down a little bit by a lack of skill in maybe the puzzle design more than anything. Because of that, I'm going to give Call of Cthulhu 3 out of 5 stars.
BXB. It's in the game.